Kal Kadosh Boker Or Masechet Bava Metzia Daf Lamed Zayin Amud Aleph 3071. We're just going to start on the bottom of Lamed Vava Mubet 36b. The two dots says Amar Rabbi Yoseh, says Rabbi Yoseh, Ketzad Hala Oseh Schora Beparato Shel Chavro. You remember the question was, how do you make business on your friend's property? This para belonged to your friend. You rented it out. You lent it out. Now because you lent it out, you're going to make more money? How does that make sense? You're making money off of your friend? How does this work? So Amar Rav Yehuda Shmuel, says Rav Yehuda Shmuel, the halacha is like Rabbi Yoseh. What does that mean? That the shuel, the borrower has to pay the owners and not the renter. Okay? The Amar Rav Shmuel bar Yehuda la Rav Yehuda, says Rav Shmuel bar Yehuda to Rav Yehuda, Amarta la mishmed Shmuel, you said in the name of Shmuel, Chaluka ya Rabbi Yoseh. That really be'emet, he was arguing on the shita of the Chachamim. Yeah, Av barishona, even at the beginning. Right? V'alacha kemoto or en alacha kemoto. Is the halacha like him or is it not the halacha like him? So Amar, so he came and he said, yeah, Amar, he said, Chaluk ya Rabbi Yoseh, he was arguing, Af barishona, even in the first case. V'alacha kemoto. And the halacha zakim, Af barishona, even in the beginning. Itmar nami was also stated, yeah, it was also stated, yeah, that he says like this. Yeah, it was also stated. Itmar Nami was also stated that in the name of Rabbi Lazar, Chaluka ya Rabbi Yoseh, Af Parishona, even in the first case. Valacha kemoto Af Parishona, Valacha came even in the first case. And Rabbi Yochanan comes and he says that Rabbi Yoseh was modeh to the Chachamim that the Shomer is going to be Zocheh in the Kefel. Shekvar Shilem, because he already paid. Meaning, the fact that he already paid, so he is going to be Zocheh in the Kefel. Shilem in Lo shilem lo, but that's only if he paid. If he didn't pay, no. V'amar Rabbi Barabba Yochanan lo shilem mamash ala kevan she'amar aneni meshalem af al pi shelo shilem. You remember we saw this machloket. Does it mean that he actually physically paid, or does it mean that the fact that he agreed that he's going to pay, that's already enough? So says the Gemara, you're right. The fact that he said I'm going to pay, that's already enough. That means the second that the guy comes and he says I'm going to pay you. Now, if they find the ganav, he gets the double portion. Okay? Okay. Mishnah. Mishnah Lamed Zayin Amud Aleph. Everyone's clear? Clear? Everyone's here. Yeah? Body and soul. Says the Mishnah, Amar leshnayim gazalti leechad mikem maneh. Ve'eni yodea eze mikem. Imagine a person comes to two people and he says, listen, I stole from you $100, but I don't know which one of you. It was for sure one of you because you were both together, and I went and I pickpocketed one of you, and I took the $100, but I just don't know from which one. Right? Ze omer sheli, right? Matayim. Ze omer sheli matayim, right? Which means, sorry, I went to the next case of the Mishnah. I apologize. Right? So what happens? O aviv shelecha mikem ifkili maneh. One of your fathers gave me a maneh, but I don't know which one. So he has to give each one 100 because he was modeh mipi atzmo. The Gemara is going to explain exactly what are we talking about. Second case, okay. So one more time. First case, the guy comes and he says, "I stole from one of you, but I don't know which one." Or your father is the father of one of you gave me $100 and I don't know which one. You have to give each one 100. Second case, shnaim sheifkidu etzel echad. Two people put a pikadon by one guy. One of them gave him manah, and one of them gave him matayim. Ze omer sheli matayim, ze omer sheli matayim. Each one says that each one was matayim. Notel le ze maneh velo ze maneh. Give a maneh to each one. Ve'ashar, and the other 100. Ya yemunach ad shevo Eliyahu. You're going to leave it until Eliyahu Hanavi zachu latov will come. Okay? Why? Because each one for sure gave 100. So you give each one 100, and the last 100 you leave it for Eliyahu Navi. Yeah, so says the Gemara, Amar Rabbi Yoseh, says Rabbi Yoseh, if so, Mai Fsidaro Aramai. What did the Ramai lose out? In the first case, it was completely different, because in the first case, the guy did something bad. So I could give him a knas. He stole. Fine, but for sure, the case of stealing, we understand. And even if it was going to be the father of one of your parents gave it to me, right? There also, we could say, okay, fine, you have to give it, because he was being modeh. And since he was being modeh, it's something different. Here, all of a sudden, they're coming to me and they're demanding their money back. And each one of them says, I gave you 200. Now I tell them, listen, kvodchem, one of you guys gave me 100, one of you gave me 200. And each one saying the 200 was his. So there, I come and I give you back the 100 each, right? But I don't have to be yotzei chovah with you guys. I wasn't modern anything. I know the one of the one. So therefore, what happens? I come and I say, okay, the last one, fight it out. Go to Eliyahu Navi, find out who it belongs to. Says Rabbi Yosef, he argues on this. Because says Rabbi Yosef, what did the Ramai lose out? Imagine right now I wanted to get back at our dear friend here. So what do? I come to David, I said the 200 was mine. Now really he was the one that gave him the 200. So now what happens? So now he loses the 200. I didn't lose anything. I only gave 100 anyway. So what does the Ramai, the trickster, lose out? So he says, Ela barather, hakol yemunachat shevo Eliyahu. Put everything until Eliyahu Navi comes. So now even the trickster loses out even his 100. So therefore, Bemet, he loses out completely. So the guy's not going to do it then, if he's going to know that everything goes to Eliyahu Navi. Yeah, and then he doesn't get anything. Same halacha would apply shne kelim, 2 utensils. Echad yafeh maneh ve'echad yafeh elev zuz. One of them is shaveh 1 maneh, and one of them is worth 1,000 zuz. Ze omer yafeh sheli. Each one says that mine was 1,000. Yeah, noten et katan lechamen. You're going to give the katan to one of them. Umitoch hagadol noten demeh hakatan lasheni. And then you're going to come and you're going to give the value of the smaller one in the bigger one. And the rest, you're going to put it until Eliyahu Navi comes. Okay?
You give the small one to one, and then to the other guy you give the big one.
Also in this case, Rabbi Yosef argues, in ken if so, my see the Ramai, what did the Ramai lose out? Again, the same thing. I'm going to say that the expensive one belongs to me. Right? And then I made you lose out. So what did he lose out? Says the Gemara, the Mishnah, the entire thing goes to Eliyahu Navi. Meaning we wait until Eliyahu Navi comes in order to sort out the entire balagan.
Is the shomer allowed to...
Says the Gemara, Alma, so you see from here, Misfeika mapkinan mamona. For a safek, we take out money. Why do we say from the safek we take out money? Because we said that the gazlan has to give 100 to both people. Correct or not? The guy came and he stole from 2 people, but he doesn't know from who. So he has to give 100 to each. So from Safek, we take out money. We don't say, leave the money in the chazakah of the master. Or meaning we have a contradiction. The question that the doctor asked. He says, 1 second. Why is it that in the first case, the person came and he stole $100, but he only stole 100? But he doesn't know from who. So in that case, he has to pay each one. So at the end, he's taking out of his pocket $200. And what's the difference then? That means it comes out that we're going to take out money. We're going to... One second. We're going to... No, he doesn't pay it carefully. Here he's odam atzmo. He's admitting on his own. Yeah, that's what he was the one that admitted. And that's what he's saying. I just don't know from which one. So he doesn't pay kefet. So now what happens is he's paying an extra 100. Now what about the second case? The second case was... 2 people came and they give me a deposit. One was 100, one was 200. All of a sudden, I only have to give 100. Why is it that in that case, I don't have to give the extra 100? We say that it goes until Eliyahu Navi. So Elmaleh comes and he tells him, Pikadona Gezel Karamit? Are you asking a question from Pikadon and Gezel? He says, Gezel, you made an Isur. Avad Isura. And therefore, Kansura Banan, they give you a knas, they give you a penalty, a fine. Pikadon, you didn't do an Isur. So lo consider Banan. That's why they didn't do Rabbanan. So says the Gemara, okay, fine. That was between the first case and the second case. What about the case of the father? Verami pikadon pikadon. Verami gezel. 1 second, but there's a contradiction on pikadon to pikadon and gezel and gezel. Why? Pikadon and pikadon diktani reisha aviv, the father. The father comes. If the guy comes and he says the father of one of you came and he gave me 100 and I don't know which one, you have to give each one 100. Or meaning the contradiction, meaning you're right. I can't bring you from the gezel to the pikadon. Because the gezel you made an averah, so you give him a knas, a penalty. But the father case was a pikadon. You come and you say the father of one of you came and he gave me 100. I don't know which one. You have to give 100 to each one. Why? In the second case of pikadon, there you didn't have to give extra money, right? Both of them say that it was 200 that they gave you. And you know that it was only one of them that gave you 200, one of them gave you 100. You give 100 to each, and the Shalom. Yes. So says the Gemara, or even Shomer Sechar, doesn't matter. What's the difference?
No.
So says the Gemara, Amar Rava, says Rava, Reisha nasa kemi sheifkido lo bishne krichot. The Reisha is talking about that Keilu they made for him two krichot. What does that mean? Like two bundles. The Havale Lemeidak, right? That he should be medayek. That Seifa nasa kemi sheifkido et lo bekrach echad. Te lo Lemeidak. He comes and he says this. He says, right? It's made Keilu that he was mafkid to him two different bundles. That he should have been medayek. Then look in the Seifa. That it's Keilu that it was mafkid to him in one krach, right? Right? It's not like that. Kegon tafkidu tzarvayu badi adad b'chazinimna, right? That they were both mafkidim, right? In both things in one shot. Tamar lehu that he says ant kufaychu, right? Lo kaptitu adade. You guys yourselves, you're not makpidim on each other. So what's going on? Ana kapidna. So I'm gonna be makpid. What's going on? Yeah. Viremi gezel a gezel. And we're going to ask a contradiction. Gezel to gezel. Ktani hacha, right, we're going to learn, Amar leshnaim gazalti lecha mikem maneh. If he tells two people, I stole from one of you guys a maneh. Ve'eni yodea, and I don't know, eze mikem, which one did I steal it from? Or aviv shelecha mikem, ifki li maneh. The father of one of you guys gave me a maneh. Ve'eni yodea eze, and I don't know which one. Noten leze maneh ve'leze maneh. I'm going to give a maneh to each one. Or meaning we have a contradiction. Gazal echad mechamisha. If you're going to come and you're going to tell me that you stole from one of five people, venu dim ezemen gazal. Veze omer oti gazal, veze omer oti gazal. Maniach gazal benehem. Mistalekti v'rebitufon. 1 second. If right now 5 people come and they say that you stole, and they're all saying that you stole from them, but you only stole from one, you put the money in the middle and let them fight it out. That's what Rabbi Tarfon says. So therefore, what's going on over here? Right? Why is it that over here you just put the money in the middle and they come and they fight it out? And we said that, you can't. So one more time, to do the case of the father and the case of the shnaim, we said it all depends how they put it. Because since it was done in two different bundles, you should have been more precise to know exactly what they gave you. But in the Seifa, right, if it was going to be in one bundle, how do you know? You don't know. So you're not going to get punished for it. Yeah? But now to do the gezel and gezel, right, if you come and you tell 2 people that I stole from you and you don't know from which one, right, or the father of one of them gave the pikadon, so now the question is why? If you stole from 5 people, you don't know which one, put the money in the middle, let them fight it out. So it says the Gemara, Alma, so you see from here, misfeika lo mapkina mamona, va'amrina lo uki mamona b'chizka maneh. So therefore you see from Rabbi Tarfon that you put the money in the chazakah of the master. If you leave the money where it is, and you don't take out money b'safek, I mean, he's not going to have to pay now $500, 100 to each. So answers the Gemara, whoever told you that Rabbi Shana is like Rabbi Tarfon? You're right, that's Shitat Rabbi Tarfon. You put the money in the middle, let them fight it out. Whoever said that Rabbi Shana is like Rabbi Tarfon? So the Tani Allah Dahib, as we learned, even Rabbi Tarfon agrees that if it's 2 people, and he tells them that I owe you 100, because I stole from one of you 100, you do have to pay 100 each. So answers the Gemara, Hatam te katavale hacha bebal etzeti de shamayim. There's a difference between somebody that's coming to you to take money away from you, or that you want to be yotzei chovah midei shamayim to make sure that you're clean. When you come and you want to be yotzei chovah midei shamayim and you want to become clean, you're going to have to put out another $100. So says the Gemara that it comes out that to be yotzei chovah midei shamayim, it's a completely different halakha. We could also do that from the Mishnah where it says hoda b'piat samo, that you were modeh from himself. So shema mina, that when you want to be yotzei chovah midei shamayim, you have to pay the double. But if somebody's demanding from you money, they cannot take away from you more money than possible. Amar more says, Hatam de katavale. There, when they're going to be tovea from you, vehala matoim. What's the other guy saying? Right? Meaning, they're coming, they're saying, there are 5 people. Right? What do you say? What's going on? Like, what are the tanot of each one? Rav Yudah Marav says, Hala shotek, he's just quiet. So Rav Matan Amar says in the name of Rav, Hala, lamed zayin amud bet, tzoveach, he's screaming. Meaning he's saying, what are you talking about? I don't even know who you are. So according to the Mandamar that he's screaming, right? Aval shtika koda. So it's mashma that if you keep quiet, bemet you're modeh to every single one of them. Then you should pay every single one of the 5, right? Again, we're talking about the 5 people that are coming against you. But according to Mandamar that you were shotek, shtika is not like koda. Matzi Elmaleh, you could say, why did I keep quiet? Ta'amina dilma hayhu, because I'm not sure exactly who it was. Meaning for sure it was one of the 5, but I just don't know why. So I kept quiet, not because I agreed to every single 5 of you. It's just I don't know which one of you. So I just keep quiet. Okay? Amar Mor says, Maniach hagzila b'neim mistelek. You remember, what did Rabbi Tarfon say? Put the money in between them and let them fight it out. V'shakli la kuluhu ve'asli. Says what? All of them are going to take the entire gizela and they're going to go. At the end of the day, the gazlan has to take out the gizela from his hands and give it back to the owner. So what did he do? Imagine right now I put the money in the middle, and not the right owner came and took the money. So how did I pay back my stealing? I didn't do anything. So v'amar Rabbi Abba b'razav damarav kol safek kinuach lechatchila lo yitol, don't take it. V'im natal lo yachzid. Now if you did take it, right, don't give it back because you don't know who you're giving back to. Like there's no siman. So what are you going to do then? You have to wait until Eliyahu comes. Yeah? So Amar Rav Safra says, you're right, ve'aniach. You have to just leave it there. Right, that's what it means. You leave it in a bedin, the bedin are going to decide who's going to get the money. So Amalei Abai Rava says, Abai Rava, Mar Rabbi Akiva, does Rabbi Akiva even say, Lo zo derech motziato midi avera? That's not going to take him out of the avera. Ad sheshalem gezela chol echad v'echad, until he pays every single one of them. Ela misfeika mapkina mamona. But rather, Alma, we see from here that we do take out money from Safek, and we're not going to say uki mamon mechas kamareh. Or meaning we have a contradiction. Imagine right now if the house falls on him and his mother, and they both die. Now you don't know who died first. Right now, why do you have to know who dies first? Yoshea ben omrim ha'emet harishona. The Yorshim of the children, they come and they say that the child, right? Sorry, that the mother died first. Yoshea em omrim, and the Yorshim of the mother say that the child died first. Elu va'elu modim, but everyone agrees. Sheachloku, you just divide it. Rabbi Akiva says, you just leave with the nechasim and in the chazakah. Everyone understood what happened. One more time. A person it's basically a mother and a child. If the mother dies first, so then the child inherits the mother, and now since the child died, even if it's going to be 1 minute later, the inheritors of this child are going to take it. So that means all the family members of the husband, because the child is family members of the husband. But if the child died first, so then what happens? The wife, and then the wife died second. So now, since the wife died second, and now there's no more children, his family members don't inherit her. Her family members inherit. So we want to find out who died first. So that's what we're trying to do. So Yorshea ben, the inheritors of the son, are saying that the mother died first. And the inheritors of the mother are saying that the son died first. So says Rabbi Akiva, just leave the properties in the chazakah, which is right now in the chazakah of the husband. So Elmaleh, he said, no, hatam shema v'shema, right there, everyone's a maybe. Meaning nobody knows exactly who died first. So each one is saying, maybe this one died first, maybe that one died first. Here, for sure, he actually stole from one of them, so it's a bari v'shema, which means each one of them is saying, bari, that for sure that he stole from me, and the gazlan is saying, maybe it was from you, I don't know. So because of that, you can't compare both cases. So this Mishnah is like Amar li Shnaim gazati lecha mikem. I stole from one of you, and it's maybe a maybe, and still we said you have to give to each one of them. So even though they're both maybe, meaning these guys don't know who you stole from, they both say okay fine, we don't remember, like we don't know, we didn't know that you stole from us, right? You pickpocketed and we don't know. So umimai de Rabbi Akiva, how do we know that this is talking about Rabbi Akiva, right? And again, we just said that in that case you're going to give a maneh to each of them. So we said, how do you know this is Rabbi Akiva? Right? Leman modeh. Right? Who's going to be modeh? Rabbi Akiva, obviously he's agreeing with Rabbi Akiva, meaning Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Tarfon are arguing. So therefore, when you say that Rabbi Tarfon is modeh in our case, he agrees that in our case, when it was only 2 people, and he's coming and he's saying about the 2, so that means he's agreeing to Rabbi, right? To Rabbi Akiva. That's the one that he's arguing on. Whoever told you that it's going to be maybe a maybe? Chada, right? Deloktani. Number one, we didn't say tovinoto. And furthermore, if each one says that I don't know, right? So therefore, how do you know that it's going to be shema v'shema? I don't know. We already said that you wanted to be Tzedek Shemaim. And if you wanted to be Tzedek Shemaim, even with a Shema, even with a maybe, you have to actually pay back each one. Even if it's going to be a maybe. What? Why? Because you want to be Tzedek Shemaim. And therefore you have to pay back that way. So Amar le Ravina the Ravashi says Ravina to Ravashi, Umi Amar Rava, does Rava actually say Kol b'shtei krichot avel meidak, that if it's going to be in two different bundles, you should have been more careful? V'Amar Rava says V'itei Rav Papa. Some people say it's Rav Papa. Everybody agrees. B'shnaim sheifkidu etzel roeh. If two people come and they put by a shepherd, sheminiach sheminiach roeh benehen umisalek. Just put the third one in front of the shepherd and then just leave it there. So you see from here that even with sheep, like with the animals, which are compared to the two bundles just like of money, if he wasn't medaktek, it's fine. He's not chayav to give each one another one. So Elmaleh, so he answers him, Hatam keshekidu be'adro shel roeh shelo midato. You put it in the eder of the roeh and he didn't know about it. So he wasn't able to know exactly what was going on. But if Be'emet you gave it in such a fashion that he should have known, like two animals, another one, so then you should have known about it. You should have paid attention. Okay? Fine. 2 dots on the bottom of Lamed Zayin Mubet. V'chen shnei kelim. The same halacha would apply to 2 different utensils. One of them was worth 100 zuz, one of them was worth 1,000 zuz. So, utzricha. We needed this case as well as utensils. Why? If I would have only known about the 100 and 200, there the rabbis are saying, Mishum delek kapseda, but there's no real loss. Meaning, leave it until Eliyahu Navi, and nobody really loses. Aval baha, but in this case, the kapseda the gadol, the big utensil, you're losing out. But remember, if it's going to break or if something's going to happen, so I would say that he's going to be modeh to Rabbi Yoseh, that you leave it until Eliyahu Navi comes. V'yetmar behan, if it was only written about the concept of the kelim, that's when Rabbi Yoseh was modeh. But in hach of the money, ema model Rabbanan, I would say that he's going to be modeh to Rabbanan. So tzricha, that's why we needed both different cases. Lamed chet amud aleph on the top. He says, 1 second, but I thought that the reason of Rabbi Yoseh, right, of Rabbi Yoseh was because what did the Ramai lose? The Ramai just come and he just said something, and because of what he just said, he just gained. So answers the Gemara, you're right. Ella tarvayu l'Rabbanan itzich. They're both needed for the Rabbanan, not for Rabbi Yoseh. Right? Velo zuav suktani. Not only this case, but even in the other case as well, which sometimes the Gemara says, not only in this type of a case, but even in another case, it's also the same halacha, even though we didn't really need to mention it.